Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. And I'm back here in the forest, never left. I live here and I only sit here, sleep here, eat here, watch TV somewhere down there. I'm going to talk to you today about anxiety. So, I want to start off with something that I read online. There was an article, I believe, I'm hoping these were like researchers, not just random people speculating, but I believe I read somewhere that the levels of anxiety that a lot of us are exhibiting today are the same levels that people showed back in the 1940s that would land them in asylums and mental institutions. That's crazy, in my opinion. So basically, we are just, what year are we in right now? We're about 70, 80, oh no, it's 2021 right now. So I'm going to blank on my math. That's about 20 years. So we're 80 years shy of being admitted into an institution. I kind of understand why we don't do that anymore. We are way more well versed on mental health, which is great. And we have more medicines, therapy is normalized. So we have a much better handle on what it is people are going through. So, anxiety in a nutshell, I would say, and forgive me if this is not very scholarly, I am not a professional, but the way I understand it to be is, I would say, an onslaught of negative thoughts and opinions that kind of grip you and hopefully temporarily control you, really can stop you from doing your normal habits or change your mentality. At times it can give you physical symptoms, for some panic attacks, and that can be very scary, especially if you let it really grow and fester in you. So that's what I see anxiety as. At least that's the one that I've experienced. That and social anxiety, but that's my past. I don't really suffer from that too much anymore. I am very much a wallflower introvert, but I wouldn't attribute that to the social anxiety of my past. It's more so just me. I like being by myself, keeping to myself. I like hanging with people as well, getting to know people, but in doses most times. Um, that's not to say I can't go long periods, but usually, if I do, I have ways to get around it. Let's just say that. Um, yeah. So I'm making this video to share a way to get through your anxiety. It's what I did. I suffered very badly from it. I still feel bouts of it from time to time, but unlike before, I now have the tools to help me get through it, which is amazing. I can smile because I got through it, and I love that. And I can already tell you right now, and it won't be for everyone. I'm sure some people will hear me say certain words, and they'll be like, I'm watching the wrong video. Where's the X again? I don't know, but maybe just stick around and hear the whole thing. If this is something you're going through, I would hope that you want to check out all the options you have. So just hear me out if you want. But long story short, I'm going to talk to you about faith in Christ, Jesus, and God, because that is what got me through. It got me through my depression as a child, when I didn't even know what depression was, when I went to bed crying, not knowing if there was an end to the pain I was feeling and the emptiness. But the one thing I knew is that the God that I was praying to said that all things end well for those who trust in him. And there was another verse that I really like. I quote it very many times. You've probably heard of it. This too shall pass. Because it's true. That doesn't take away the fact that what you're going through is very hard, that it's painful, that those feelings are real. It's one of the emotions are the realest things you'll ever go through. Because it hurts you from a place you can't even access. You can control it to some degree, but the emotions are involuntary. So I'm not trying to say like this too shall pass, or just chill. It's not like that easy, but it's just good for me knowing that whatever I'm going through, it's not going to be forever. And again, I don't want to sound insensitive, because I do understand that some people commit suicide, and if that's the case, that's the note that they left on. So can one say that this too shall pass? I still believe, yes, it can pass. I just also recognize that unfortunately some people don't always see and understand and believe that fact. And so they take matters into their own hands, and find a way out of that pain. And yeah, it makes me upset because I'm sure it makes a lot of people upset to know that people are driven to that end. And again, another reason why I want to give this to you guys, because I wouldn't want anyone even being anywhere remotely close to that type of mentality. I can be honest with you right now, and I've never been suicidal, but I wouldn't imagine that I personally would be, because the way I've walked with God, and not saying that people who feel suicidal at times, who are Christian maybe, aren't close with God. I'm just talking about my experience. And I can honestly say that I feel like I've never quite gotten to that point because of how close I am with God and how much I have trusted in Him. Um, I've also not really had the worst life. So I can't say, I mean, I've been tested. I will say I've been tested, but I've had my struggles for sure. I went through something that was even beyond material, um, this material world. And it was for months that I was struggling with this one feeling. It was like a spiritual despondency, and it gripped me real hard. It was kind of scary. But regardless, I do understand that some people have deeper and darker situations. So I'm not going to pretend like it's that easy. I did it, so can you. Your walk with the Lord is specific to you and God. Um, I all I can ever say is just, if you trust Him, great. Just keep on trusting Him. Keep on strengthening that relationship with Christ, because that will get you through. He's not going to let you behind. He's got 99. Actually, I guess it would be 100. He's got 100 sheep. One goes missing. He goes after it. He will leave that 99, and you are that one sheep, and He's going after you. He came after me. He comes after everybody who will seek Him. Who's willing to be saved by Him. So, in a nutshell, I will simplify it and say that I had faith, but I will also specify it and tell you what exactly I did. I'll give you the practical answer. Simple things, technically. I did read my Bible more. I made sure to read with comprehension. When I was younger, I read, which is great, but I wasn't comprehending a lot. I was also younger, so I didn't really know how to process a lot of what I was reading. And then there's a lot of how should I put this? There's a lot lost in translation due to cultural, historical, cultural and historical differences, obviously. But just finding out a way to interpret what their time period was like, which we have at our fingertips for the most part. Most of us do. We have access to libraries, your internet, my phone. There's a lot of concordances, a lot of articles that help decipher what certain cultural traditions meant, all that stuff. So when I read the Bible, I might be familiar with a lot of the passages, but I make sure to go deep to try to understand it in the same way that the Jewish people back then understood it. Because look at Paul writing all these letters. He's writing to an audience that understood what he meant, which is the one thing. I'm just kind of like, man, if only they knew that like 2,000 years later that we'd be here. I'm not putting it on them. It's just a joke. But, sometimes I read it and I'm like, this would be a lot simpler if I just kind of knew exactly what they meant. But we do. We have a way to deduce it. We have theologians out there. We've got people who study the Bible. Shoot, we even have non-believers who really study the Bible and give us that historical, cultural background to help us understand it too. So it's really out there. So I can't really, I don't have any excuses for not trying to know the word through and through, which I want to do anyway because it's what I believe in. And I feel like if I'm going to adhere to this doctrine, and it's not me wanting to know it because I've already chosen it. It's because I believe what it says, and therefore I want to know it very well. And the more I know it, the stronger my faith is when it comes to defending my faith or explaining it to others or using it in spiritual battle. We live in a fallen world, so it's not surprising that we have to deal with these struggles and experience it and witness them. And, there's some relief in knowing that this is all temporary. This world, this physical world we live in, it had a start date and it's going to have an end date. Whether we'll personally be here for those, last final years, I don't know. But as most people know, we all die at some point. And then for those who know Christ, we are going to be with him, either in the New Jerusalem or in the new heaven. Bottom line is, we're going to live in paradise. I'm shedding. Okay. Back. So, yeah. So for me, when I had those thoughts, something that I specifically said in those moments, well, first, it would depend exactly how it comes on. If it's like the thoughts that I can decipher, then like that I can hear, then I would just be like, no, no, stop. It's not. In fact, I don't even like entertain it with conversation. I just, I'm having all these thoughts. I'm trying to put myself back there, and I'm stopping that because I'm now consciously aware that these thoughts are going to drag me down. And I also now know that these thoughts have no weight, have no bearing. Even if one or two of the thoughts might have some sort of credibility to them, don't let it rule you. So, you know what? Let's just give a super easy example. Like maybe you're just worried, like, oh, I'm about to give a presentation and they're going to hate me. I'm going to trip over my words and it's not going to go well. So let's just say in all those random thoughts, one of them happens to be true. You're not a good public speaker. Okay, and you saying these things to yourself is not going to make you a better public speaker. I'm not going to tell you just go take a class and get better. No, I'm talking about this is you about to go up and present in like 2 seconds. Like I said earlier, this too shall pass. It's not that easy, but I think it gives you way more agency and power into remembering this moment is not going to rule me right now. It's not. I'm not going to let it. It's going to maybe be awkward, maybe be kind of difficult to get through, but I am going to get through it. And I don't just say I'm going to get through it. I say the Lord's going to get me through it, because I don't think I've got the for some things maybe, yeah, but for the most part, a lot of the grander struggles that I've been through, I know I didn't have the power to get through it. And what got me through it is, surrendering myself to God and saying, yeah, I'm going to need help here. I'm going to need help with all of it, but especially this right now, because this is a lot. I don't like it. And it hurts internally. And yeah, so that's kind of how I would get through it. I either tell my thoughts immediately, like, no, you're not going to take control of this moment right now. You're not. I'm redirecting this. You're trying to be up front. I'm not only going to put you in the back, I'm actually going to put you in the vault. If anything, I would probably take a, incinerator and burn you, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to put you in the vault for now. And you're not going to come out because I'm going to forget the code so that I don't ever open it again. But sadly in this life, you don't have to open it again. Sometimes the door just opens on its own and it comes back from time to time. Like I said, even with all of what I do now, that's not to say that I don't have those moments. And when things either get really stressful or I start overthinking things, which I do a lot, and I'm really trying not to do that, I just go back and do all those same things. Praying, like prayer is huge for me. It says in the word that the prayers of the righteous are powerful. And I can either read that and be like, okay, cool, or I can read that and believe it and know that my prayer is going to do something. And trust that the moment I say it, honestly, the moment you think it and feel it, the Lord knows it. And if you're talking to him, he's hearing it and he's doing something about it. Just present your concerns to him and he's going to take care of it. And he says very many times in his words, not to stress, not to worry, have no cares. Don't worry about tomorrow. I take care of the bees and the birds in the valley and the grass blades. I dress them with fine, I don't want to say clothing, but they look nice. Flowers look beautiful, and they don't dress themselves. God gave that to them. So if he's taking care of them, how much more so will he take care of us and provide for us our needs? I say it like that, our needs, not our material desires. If I need a shirt, he's going to give me a shirt. He's not necessarily going to walk into Gucci and be like, my girl needs a shirt. Give me the finest one you have, unicorn leather or whatever. No, he's going to give me what I need. Sometimes he blesses some of us with a lot, and sometimes he blesses us with just enough, and it doesn't matter because these are all material goods that mean nothing at the end of the day, because when we die it's just us and we're going to our real home in heaven where the real treasure is. And that's what we have to also remind ourselves, that the cares of this world, though very real to us in this present moment, they're only temporary. And I just, for me, when I hear that stuff, it puts things in perspective and it makes it easier for me to be like, oh yeah, so, okay, I shouldn't really be so worried about this. To an extent, yes, because it's something that matters right now, but I'm not going to let it grip me that hard as if this is going to define me or, you know. Again, it's hard to balance what I'm saying with reality. I'm not going to say we won't go through troubles here, it won't suddenly not hurt anymore, but it definitely puts things in perspective knowing that this is temporary. We are exiles here. Our true home is with the Lord. If you give your life to Christ and believe on him and follow him, because remember, the devil, he knows God, but he doesn't follow God. You need to obey God. He likes faith and obedience. He made that clear. So as long as you're doing that, you've got your your RSVP in heaven. So that's what got me through it. Prayer. I read a lot of Psalms. If you are anxiety ridden, I definitely recommend to you the Psalms. A lot of them written by King David. Uh, I would imagine most of you guys know who King David is. Even if you're not Christian, most people have heard about him. Um, the second king of Israel. He was known for his obedience to God. Not at all times, not perfectly, but he was very faithful. He trusted God. He would always go back to God and repent when he made mistakes. And he obeyed God. Again, not at every time. We're human. We make mistakes. But reading those Psalms, I realize I tend to put biblical figures on a pedestal where I, to some degree, understand that they went through things. But I guess in my mind, when I was younger, I assumed they had like a tougher face about it. They're like, yeah, but I'm going to get through it because I'm Paul or I'm King David, and it's not going to hurt the way it hurts y'all snowflakes nowadays. But reading the word with comprehension, really digging into it and reading it with my adult mind now, like, just, it let me know, it made me realize how very human these people were, that they, like us, were just fallen humans. None of them were even qualified really to do what God wanted them to, which makes it even more profound, because he chose people who were just like us, with sins, with issues, with problems, and temptations, and he chose those people to pass on his message and do great and wonderful acts in this world, both in the Old and the New Testament. And so if you're feeling incompetent, that's either because you're looking to yourself, which you're not supposed to do, because we're not the main character of the story. You look to God, and he will give you the resources you need to get through whatever he puts you through. So grow strong. Don't wallow in that swamp of anxiety. It's not as easy as just get your butt up and do better, I know, but I will say I think a lot of it does start with the way you think. And reminding yourself that, yes, your anxiety is not too big for God. Or I should probably say, no, your anxiety is not too big for God. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. And he can take care of it. If God is with you, if God is for you, who then can be against you? Who? That's what I thought. So just know I'm with you. I'm praying for you all. Whatever you're going through, it's very real, and it's very valid, and I hope and pray that you get through it. But just remember to seek the Lord, seek his kingdom, and he will take care of you. He always does. It might not be right now, and it might not be tomorrow that you feel that sudden relief, but you will feel it. He will give you that peace that passes all understanding. No one else in this world can promise you that. That is a fact. But he can, and he's done that for me, and I want him to do that for you. So definitely read your Bible more, pray to God, let him reveal to you his power and his strength, and let him give you some of that as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.